Guys, welcome back. Today, as you can see by the title, I'm talking about books. Welcome to my book gang. What up, what up? It's like book gang. So yeah, this is the first installment, if you will, of my book gang video. And I might do this book gang sign every single time. But, where would the fun be if I didn't? Anyway, today's book is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which is a phenomenal book, and it's been a minute since I read it, but it is so good. And I'm gonna say that it's so good so many times because it deserves it. Anyway, I figured since it's been a bit, I wanted to jog my memory and also give like a decent synopsis of it, and I found a really good review, synopsis, summary, whatever you may call it, on Goodreads. 16-year-old Star Carter moves between two worlds, the poor neighborhood where she lives and the fancy suburban prep school where she attends. She attends, not where she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend Khalil at the hands of a police officer. Khalil was unarmed. Soon after, his death is a national headline. Some people are calling him a thug, maybe even a drug dealer and a gangbanger. Protesters are taking to the streets in Khalil's name. Some cops and the local drug lord try to intimidate Star and her family. What everyone wants to know is what really went down that night, and the only person alive who can answer that is Star. But what Star does or does not say could upend her community. It could also endanger her life. When I was kind of looking into it, is there beyond the book, found out that this is Angie Thomas's first book, and like, if I could succeed in things like the first time I did them, the way she succeeded in writing like such a good book for her first book. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, this book is about a 16-year-old girl, which, relatable first off, to me especially, which is probably why I found this book so captivating, is because she's close to my age. We have similar backgrounds. We experience similar things, I relate to how her story plays out. Obviously, I haven't had to live through something like that, and I pray that I never will, because that's seriously intense. But just her personality and the things about her, I get. So you might not understand it, but the book is not just for people who can relate to Star. It's just for somebody who wants to be educated on a subject like this, somebody who wants to know more what they can do to help, what kinds of things, like how, I guess, the justice system works in cases like this, because it's actually very accurate to the way things happen in the news and in real life. And it's a good book, guys. The characters in this book really make it. Like, Star and her family have this ridiculous connection between everybody in the story, and every person in the story plays a crucial role to the plot and to the development of the plot, and the character development is great as well. And it's kind of interesting to see how people react to different things, even though they're not necessarily real people, but just the way that the connections are made, and the way that the characters are written, and the way that the characters themselves act. Because as, this summary, whatever, mentioned, Star goes to a fancy prep school. It's called Williamson. And at Williamson, she has, friends there. She's not, it's not a super diverse school in the sense that, there are a few black people at her school also, relate. But she kind of has to, this is the only spoiler I will say, is that she testifies as witness in the cases, and she speaks about being a witness to the event, and she kind of is quiet about it. She hides that from her Williamson side, and a few people in her hometown, Garden Heights. A few people in Garden Heights know, but most of her friends and her boyfriend, Chris and Williamson, they don't know. And it's just kind of interesting because she doesn't want to mix the two sides, and I mean, it's just very complicated, and the way that she goes about it is like very walking on eggshells. When you read the book, you'll know what I'm saying. Like, this isn't gibberish, I promise. I mean, it's a news event. There we go. I'm on a roll now. It's a news event, and everybody knows about it, and everybody has their own idea of what happened, but Star was actually there. So she kind of has to keep quiet about being the witness around her friends and around her boyfriend, but she also like is so emotionally shaken by this that her demeanor and her mindset are shifted. I mean, obviously something like this is changing your life, so she's different, and she can't exactly like say why to everybody, and it's so like interesting to think about. Oh wow, people react this way. I mean, to me, because I would react another way, and I'm not trying to like put my own like views and belief systems in here and whatever, but I mean, to me, Star's reaction is completely normal. Star and Chris, the two of them together, are like so cute. Like, just the way that they met is a really cute story, and like the way that they are together is adorable. I just really like that character dynamic between the two of them. So, you know, get you a woke man. You just have to read it, guys. Like, my explanations can only be so good. This is the longest book I've read, I think, like, for pleasure. And I mean, my copy, hardcover, is 444 pages, so, but I mean, I breezed through it like it was nothing because the storyline is so moving, and the things that Thomas talks about in her book, things that need to be said, things that people need to understand, things that people need to educate themselves on if they don't already know, because this is a very real issue. These are very real topics. These feelings are very real. Even like the realistic fiction of this book, the realistic like seems to kind of outweigh the fiction. The more that you think about it, and the more that you think on it, and the more that you read the book. And I just feel like everyone should read this. I feel like at some point it should become required in some school, and I feel like books like this need to continue to be published and read. And I feel like, I mean, look at the success of this book. It was a, #1 New York Times bestseller, and that should say something, because yeah, we wrote a book and we talked about racism, we talked about police brutality. It can either be, hit or miss, important as the information is. It's all in the delivery. Like anything, like a joke, like a pizza, it's all in the delivery. But I mean, I just feel like everyone needs to read it, and if it's true that a movie is on its way, I will go and see it. Like,